This is a newer retro electronic flash. It has a universal hot shoe, and I'm just going to mount this onto my Sony a7R4 to demonstrate. So lock it in. I could turn on my Sony camera. And it has two positions when it is turned on. This is manual. And then this is on automatic mode. So on manual, it's operated by power ratio. Right now I have 1:2, so the full power would be 1:1. And at this power ratio, 1:1, this flash, I have tested this with a digital flash meter at 10 feet ISO 200. The f-stop I got from this flash is at 5.6. So this is the maximum strength if you're shooting at 10 feet, the subject distance 10 feet, and at ISO 200, set your camera manually at 5.6, and you will get a very good exposure. So within this range, you can dial into the automatic operation. Now, it would show +3. This is a f-stop compensation, which means that if you take a picture without the flash, you will get a good exposure, and if you use the flash, you will be overexposed by 3 times. It depends on the situation, of course, what you want to do for your exposure. Or you could dial this down, and you could use minus compensation, which is now a field light. And this would be very useful for me when I'm taking portrait. My field light is usually -2. So this would give me a very nice soft lighting from my addition to my ambient light to the portrait, and fill in the shadow with a -2 factor of compensation for my f-stop, which is very soft and natural. And if I'm shooting in the sun and I know that I am underexposed in my portrait because of backlight, I could use the positive compensation, and I could go up all the way to +2, 7, and up to 3. So this is how I would use this light ratio in the automatic mode. In the manual mode, it is very straightforward. 1:1 is full power, and then you could just dial down to all the way down to 1/28th of a second power ratio. This is the weakest power ratio for field light. So let's take a picture here. My camera is already set in mechanical shutter. Electronic shutter would not work for this flash. So setting at mechanical shutter now. So I'm focusing on the lens, which is only 1 foot away. And my ISO is set at 320 ISO. So I'm using 1/28th of a second. And the f-stop is at f4, and shutter speed is 1/60th of a second, which is within the same speed of this camera. So let's take a picture here. Focus. I'm not in focus. All right, so it's a little bright. So I'm gonna dial down the ISO here. Okay, let's try 100 ISO. So as you can see, in the ambient light, it is very dark. It's underexposed by -2. So I'm just going to fill this in. Still a lot of highlight, -3. Not much different. So let's switch to manual let's switch to manual mode altogether. And I'm going to use 1/64 power ratio. Oh, it's better now. Okay, so let's go down to 1/28 of a second. This is the lowest power ratio setting. All right. So that's how it works. You manually decrease the power ratio to get a picture within your histogram range, which is right now is still overexposed because of the highlight. And you could try this because it's a digital camera as many times as you want to get a good picture. It's a retro flash. This is almost similar to back in the 80s. You are using a film camera and shooting with a manual flash. You have to use this power ratio setting. Now this flash has also a modeling light, so when I push in this button here, I could turn on the modeling light, which is a continuous light, and you could shoot with this light and the flash like that. Very convenient. I love it because I had been shooting with a film camera since the start in the 70s and graduate to a digital camera, and this brings back a lot of memory. It's a very nice flash for hobby photographers as well for professional portrait photographers because of the fill light. Very useful.
So this is the flash on my big camera. You adjust it manually there, or you can set it to slave mode to work as an auxiliary flash by clicking it, but it doesn't come with any of the cables to do that. To go around the side. This is the SE, so it's really just, this pack is just for your main flash. The thing is, like the main flash for this camera that I attach, which is huge, gets all of its settings from the camera, so you get the right balance it sets for it. This one's a bit trial and error, so it's not good for point and shoot. And then I've tried it on this smaller camera, my little retro camera that I take on holiday, and again, the same thing, the inbuilt flash, the camera knows what to do to use it, and this one doesn't seem to be a lot brighter, but I had very mixed results with this one. On this one, I think I prefer to use its little inbuilt flash. I think if you haven't got a flash on an older camera, it does look quite nice. Again, you'll have to sort of play with the settings to see what works for you, so it's not that happy snappy. Overall, I don't think it's bad value. It comes with this diffuser to soften it on the front and screws on. The battery life is fantastic. It does look good. I just wish it took its readings from the camera. And there's no carry case or anything in the box. I think it's pretty good. I'd still rather, if I was taking this camera, I'd rather take the big slave one because I just know the results I'm going to get. So I thought this would be good because of its compact size, but I think I'd still rather have the compromise of the size and the controllability. But yeah, I hope that's useful.